Let's train an AI model based on your photos with no code whatsoever. So first of all, I'm Yuval Avidani. I'm the founder of YUV.AI, which is a great AI community here in Israel. I'm also working as a data scientist and machine learning expert in the high-tech field in Israel. So I'm excited to talk about the new Flux model that takes the AI community by storm these days. And I think we can understand why. If you look at my screen, then you can see some video of myself. This is me. And I'm flying in the sky like Wolverine from the X-Men, right? I'm having the claws and everything. My hair is blowing in the wind. So it looks really good. And what I did here, I trained a LoRA, which is a big word for a model that is based on my images, my pictures. And I was able to generate images using AI based on the model I created on myself. So we are going to discuss this process briefly. And the idea is that it's so simple. So the steps are going to be as follows. The first step and the most crucial step is to prepare our data set. What would we like to train at all? In this example, I trained a model on my images, but maybe you have a product that you want to train on. So you could generate images based on your product. So there are tons of ideas, but first of all, you can follow my page on LinkedIn or on every social platform. I'm really active in all platforms actually. So, but you can see I have tons of content. The name is Yuval Avidani, and I truly write a lot about AI, machine learning, and so much more. So feel free to follow me. So the process is going to be the dataset preparations, and this one divides into two main categories, so to speak. So the first one is the images. We need the images itself. And the second part or category is to create the description for each image. I will explain what this means, but just keep in mind that for each image we will have in our data set, we will also preferably should have a text file, TXT file, that describes what appears in the image. Meaning if we have 30 images, then I expect to have another 30 text files. So if we have image number 1, and image number 2 and so on, then we should have text file number 1, text file number 2, and so on. And in each text file, the content will be the description of the corresponding image. All right, saying like image number 1 is a golden apple, then the text file number 1.txt should say in the text itself, the description, this image is showing an apple in the color of gold. You understand the point. So this is the first step. Now, the second step would be to use some, we can say, tool to create a model which is called a LoRA, okay? On the images we prepared, on the data set we prepared for training. So the training could be locally if you have a strong computer, but most of us normal people does not have a very strong computer. If you do, feel free to skip this tutorial and just train your own LoRA using AI Toolkit or Simple Tuner or any other tools you prefer. But if you want to use something super easy and super fast, you can use many tools. One of them is fal.ai, which is a website that allows us to train models online. We should pay about $5 to $10 to get our model, but it's still cheap, and then we could generate models online. It's awesome. So I'm going to use fal.ai to train a LoRA, and the last step will be to generate the images. This is the most fun part. So without any further ado, let's start with the process itself. So in order to see what do I mean by prepare a data set, then I should simply show you. I'm going to drag a folder I have here aside. Just 1 second. All right, I'm going to show you the data set, and there you go. So I have this folder. This is what we are going to train today. Here is the folder itself. So you can see I have dataset for training LoRA. This is the folder. Within I have LoRA training, and the name of this folder is GTA 1024. Can you imagine why the name of the folder is GTA? So if not, then let me open this image. This is an image for the game GTA Grand Theft Auto, which is a game very familiar, and I truly love the style of GTA. So I took some images, browsed online for open websites that allows to use their images. So I took some images of GTA from the game itself and so on. And what I did was to crop the images to be 1024 by 1024. So we have this website called Birme. You can just Google it, Birme, B-I-R-M-E, okay, .net. And in here you can just upload a bulk of images, which mean a group of images. Let's say, let me sort this folder by file type, and let me just pick up some random images, and I'm gonna throw it in here. So you can see I have images. Now, if I would to crop these images, let's say I want to do like something like 787 on 123, let's say, okay? So now I could get some scale in here. You see the bar? I can just select the area in which stands for these dimensions, and then at the end I could save at once the cropping of all these images by clicking Save Files or Save as Zip. So I already did this process using Birme, and I created the preparation for this dataset of GTA. So just I wanted to show you about, this is the images process, and now the description process, as I promised. You can see I have image 0, okay? Let me just make it smaller. And let me open the description for this one. So, one second, you see I have an image and a text file, okay? I'm going to close the window, and you can see that I have the description. So actually what I did was upload an image to ChatGPT asking for the description. We also have LoRA, which is an open source vision model for image captioning. So the idea is that the file 0.txt will describe what is in the image 0.jpg. So you can just write it down by yourself, or you can use ChatGPT or any other vision models for image captioning. There are many tools out there, but just bear in mind that you can do it manually. But if you don't want to do it manually, this is the fun part now. We can just go to fal.ai. So if you were to use Google, you can just write fal train LoRA Flux, okay? Because we actually want to train a LoRA, which means we want to create a model based on some images using fal, but we are going to train our model on some, we're gonna create a LoRA based on some base model, okay? So we have many diffusion models, and we're going to use Flux model. So Flux is a model, an awesome model by Black Forest Labs. If I type in Flux, let's say Flux Black Forest Labs. So they have this amazing model, which is open source, most of it. There is one model, which is the Pro, which is available only via API. If you're not familiar with APIs, then just don't get too excited. But you can see that Black Forest Labs has great images, high quality. And this one takes the world by storm, really. This is mind-blowing, okay? See, you have the geometric vector art style posters and so on. You can really look into this website. This is absolutely amazing. You can get inspiration from their website. So, so you have this base model in which we will use in order to train our LoRA. So today we are going to create a style, all right? We are going to use fal to create the style of GTA, and then we're going to train the model. So look, in Google, we can just type in fal train LoRA Flux or whatever you want to use. You can say just fal.ai train LoRA Flux, whatever. And the most important part for you guys is to see that you click on the Train Flux LoRA, this one, this website, okay? So now I'm going to click on this one and welcome, you're in fal.ai. We are in the second step because I already created the data set, okay? So look how simple this thing is. It's really, really simple. All we have to do, seriously, all we need to do is just to upload the images. We can add the images, upload the file as a single images or as a zip file if we have it. Now, something very interesting you should keep in mind is that you could skip on the part in which you should describe what each image has if you are using fal, because fal actually looking for the description, but if you're not uploading a description, it will auto generate it using LoRA. Okay, so you don't have to create the image captioning when you train on fal, which is amazing. So let me just log in with my account. There you go, I'm logged in. I have some balance. We should top up, we should add credits in order to train, otherwise we won't be able to. You can also see that on the left hand side we have the section in which we can train a model, but on the right hand side I have the training history, which means I already trained model based on my images. So I'm going to show you something super cool at the end of this part. So, okay, let's train our own model. So first of all, there are questions like how many should I pay for training a model? So it depends. It depends on the number of steps you want to use. But let's just keep it simple and we will stick to the default values. So we would need $5 to train our model, and we'll keep another $1 just so we could generate images afterwards. So let's see how this works. I'm going actually to add the images. Let me just click add images. And you know what? I can also, in downloads, I can just okay, so now we need to upload the images as discussed. So just let me bring in the folder with all the images and the descriptions. I can skip on the descriptions, but I think I'm gonna keep it this time. Or you know what? No, you know what? Let me delete the text file, okay? So we can just keep it simple. So I'm gonna just delete all the text file and keep all the images. So I'm gonna Control A, select all, and drag and drop. Simple as that. All right. So I need to top up the money. So I have the images. Now let me click on more. Just note, I've just drag and drop the images. That's all. All right. So now scrolling down, you can see we have additional settings. So we have data archive format. We don't care about this. What we do care is about the caption file, the trigger word, I'm sorry. So we can just we can just define some settings in here, and you can, even if you click on the eye, the small information, then you can see also the provided information about whether or not you should do something in here. Okay, we don't need to use this too, actually, and we're going to stick to the defaults, which is 1,000 steps, 16 in rank, learning rate 0.0004, and the trigger word is the important part, because if we were to keep it empty, then when we want to trigger it, we won't have to say anything in the prompt itself. So we don't care. But if we do want a specific word to trigger to activate this style that we want to train a LoRA on, then we could definitely do it in here. So I can say in the trigger word, like say YUV.AI, YUV.AI GTA, okay? YUV.AI GTA creative, or let's say GTA by YUV.AI. Okay, GTA by YUV.AI. Cool. This will be the trigger word. So now all I have to do is to top up, to add funds, to add money. Okay, so I could start the training. So let's click on add credits. Now I can select how much I want to spend. You see, I already spent $20 because I did some testing, I trained models and so on. I don't care. Let's just add another $10. I'm gonna purchase via Stripe, the $10. So we could train, so I could spend money on this video, right? How amazing is this? Okay, so we have the money, bling bling. We can move forward with our training. So back to our previous work. Let's see if we could return simply. We have the image, Flux General. All right, Flux LoRA General Training. Okay, and we're all doomed now. Let's do it again quickly. I'm going to bring in the images once again. GTA. All right, there you go. Dropped all the images. Quick recap, just clicking more, and GTA by YUV.AI. All right, this would be the trigger word. 1,000 steps, and look how simple is this. Link, money, images, trigger word, and start. That's it. We are training our AI model as we speak. Now, if you want to see the status, then you can see that on the right hand side, we just got a new row, which is in status in progress. Once it will be completed, then you will see completed. And once it's completed, we can just click on Run Inference for starting generating images. So we can, in the meanwhile, click on See Logs, and we could see the process itself, like on the fly. This process for 10,000 for 1,000 images should take about 20 minutes, I assume based on the previous training I already did. So it should take about 20 minutes, and I'm going to fast forward it, but you can see just by eyeballing when looking at the logs, you can see what's happening. You can see it's loading the images, it's moving the images, it defined the settings of GTA by YUV.AI, the trigger word, it started the job, and it's iterating over it. You can see all the settings if you're familiar with IT or DevOps and so on. So you can understand what's going on, but you don't need to if you're not a technical person. Then fear not, because this is really super simple. All we have to do now is keep on waiting. Everything is happening behind the scenes. We don't even need to look at it. This is just out of curiosity if you want to see it. So I'm going to look at the progress, but we're going to skip to the end in just a few moments. So as expected, it took about 20 minutes, and you can see that So as expected, it took about 20 minutes. You can see I got the completed highlighted here at the top up model, 26 minutes, which is okay. Now, the interesting part is the followings. I'm gonna right click on the tab and click duplicate. You will understand why in a minute. In the new tab, I'm going to click on Run Inference. Okay, this means let's generate images using this new model. So Run Inference, here it goes. And you can see that automatically we got a prompt with some default value, which is portrait of photo of and the trigger word. Do you remember the trigger word we had to set up here below? GTA by Yuval, YUV.AI. So if I were to trigger this one, nothing interesting will happen, because this is just some style. You know, we trained a model based on GTA style. So it's not enough just to trigger a photo of something and not a portrait photo, because this is not someone. So just so you could understand what I'm saying, let's say I'm going to take this trigger word out, and let's say portrait photo of who can we take? Let's say Super Mario playing PlayStation, which is strange, right? Because he's from Nintendo. So how can he play PlayStation wearing VR headset? Okay, let's click on Run. Now I'm generating images on Flux one dev model. Okay, look. About the price, this says that for $1 we can generate about 13 images. Okay, so $1 for 13 images is a bit expensive, but it's quick. So you can see I got Super Mario playing PlayStation wearing VR headsets in the style of a portrait photo. Now, what do you think should happen if now I will add the trigger word? In the style of, and now I added the GTA by YUV.AI. Now I'm expecting the photo to be in the style of the trained model. Now let's hope and click on Run. This is the part when I should run if this is not working. But let's see, I'm very, very, very curious. It also depends on the prompt itself, but let's see. Nah, it didn't work because we have too many variables in here. Maybe I hope this is the reason. But just for making sure, I'm going to click on More. Here below we have the path of the LoRA, which is the trained model. All right. So we saw that if I take Super Mario playing PlayStation using VR, blah blah, is not working. So let's make it something simpler. A man walking in the street of New York City. Let's enter the trigger word. Let's say a man in the style of, and then the trigger word, walking in the streets of New York City. Okay, let's click Run this time and see what we will get. Now, in the meanwhile, you can see we have the prompt field, which is just type in what you want, and here below you have the additional settings. Okay, now you can see that we have a man in the style of something walking in the streets of New York City. So we do have a man walking in the streets of New York City, but it looks like the model we trained wasn't capturing the style of the GTA good enough. So what we can try to do is to click on More, and that now we can eyeball the settings. Okay, so we have the additional settings, we have the image size. Let's do a landscape of 16 by 9. You know what? No, just let's make it a portrait of 9 by 16. Seed can be random. This is the noise creating the image. Seed is the randomness you want to see. You don't want to get the same image over and over again. So once the seed is random, you will get different images each time. So we have the path to our LoRA, which is this one, okay? We know because we clicked on run inference. And by the way, if we click on show files, we can have the link to the LoRA file, which is the file we need. So we can also download our model and use it in different engines. And here below we have the scale. Let's see the scale of the LoRA weight. Now we can see that by setting the default value to 1, we didn't get the result we wanted. So what do you think would happen if we were to increase the size of the LoRA, the weight of the LoRA? It ranges from 0 to 4. So let's say 1 is not enough. Let's go with 3, okay? We never want to be too low or too high. We are seeking for the sweet spot. So I increased the weight of the LoRA, and now from 1 to 3, and now I'm using the same prompt of a man in the style of something walking in the streets of New York City. Okay, now we got something very, very strange, like the weight of the LoRA is way too high, and the engine is trying to generate an image, but the training maybe wasn't sufficient enough. Maybe 1,000 step is not enough to train on style. So let's go back to square. Okay, 5, 12. Oh, okay, sorry. Let's go to square HD for 1024 by 1024 because the dimensions of the original images we trained on was 1024. So if we train on a specific size, when we generate images, we do prefer to use that size, okay? So now let's decrease the weight of the LoRA to, let's say, 2, and let's rerun the prompt. And all right, just to make sure we are aligned, we have the same prompt. We just selected 1024 by 1024 dimensions of the image, which are the dimensions of the original images. And now we're getting much closer. You see, now we're really starting to get the feel of the GTA part. So look at the interesting part. Now let's say we want to take a portrait of, let's say, Wolverine from X-Men in the style of GTA, okay? And we can say at the end, walking in the streets of New York City. That's fine. But now I'm using portrait. I want to see something closer of a character we know of, because I want to see the regular character and the effect of the LoRA. It will be much easier to understand what was the effect. Okay, so now we are going to stick with the square HD, and the scale, I wonder, we can just, you know what, let's decrease it to 1.5, okay? Because I felt like it's too strong in this image, but let's see what we are getting now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Cool, you see, this is very, very cool, right? Now we have Wolverine going in the streets of New York as a GTA character. Now you can see the background is realistic still, but the character itself is very, very nice. This is really the style of Wolverine. Look at the image. This means our training worked. Now let's say we also want to say in here GTA game style. Let's see how this GTA game style affects the prompt. Now I'm going to do something very interesting, because once I will keep the GTA game style, and let's see what we were to get. And the next test would be to remove the trigger word and see if it has an interesting effect if we're using GTA game style in the prompt. So let's see. Okay, we are still getting something. This doesn't look like Wolverine. We have the claws, something that looks like claws. Let's remove the GTA by YUV.AI. This is the trigger word. Wolverine walking the streets of New York City, GTA game style. Okay, let's click again. This is the prompting tests. And by the way, for each image, you get a unique link, so you can download the images again if you'd like. So let's just see what we are getting. This is without the training. We're still getting nice results. Let's go back. Okay, this is the image now generated by saying GTA style. And this is my image based on the LoRA training. Look how cool is this. Okay, going back, the LoRA is definitely working. Let's go back to the original prompt, which was, all right, we'll learn from X-Men in the start. Okay, cool. This is the original prompt. Now, I want to show you something very interesting as well. So we have the weight, we have the number of inference steps. Let's click on generate again, just so we have like some baseline image. And now the cool part is that we can actually combine two LoRa's. We don't need to use only one LoRa. And let me show you what do I mean. So we have this image, right? I just generated. Let me go back for a second to this screen, okay, to this tab. This was the original tab. This is why I duplicated the tabs, because I wanted to generate and then go back again if wanted to. And here, what I can do is to take my previous LoRa, which is the LoRa based on my own images. I will click on show files, then copy link. I will copy the link of the LoRa, go back to the generation, and here, look like, what can I do? I can, under LoRa, I have the first one, which is the style of GTA, and I can add item. I will just type in the path of the LoRa I trained based on my own image. The scale I will keep as 1, the default one. And now instead of Wolverine from X-Men, I can say portrait of Yuval, which is me, which is the triggered word for this model, okay? I know because I created it. I can also see it in here if I'd like to. I can just click on download. And I can get the metadata, all right, the information about this model. And I can see that in here, the trigger word is Yuval. I remember it. So anyway, now I added Yuval to the style. Okay, so now I expect to get the GTA style, but also my face. So let's do it. Let's click on run. All right, it's running. And let's see, it's really interesting, by the way, to see the results. And we will finish by seeing the Super Mario with the GTA at the end, by the way. Okay, so this expected to be me, right? This is a bit me, but I can increase the size of the LoRa. I can also say close-up shot of, this is me, this will trigger me. In the style of, this will trigger the GTA style, walking in the streets. Let me increase the size, the weight of the LoRa of my own face, okay? And we'll click on run. By the way, here below we have more settings which we can definitely play with, such as controlled nets. Controlled nets actually say something like, give me an image. Okay, and I will create a new image based on the patterns I see in the image you are uploading. Like saying, if a man is holding this gun, like let's say in this, by the way, you can see my face is getting closer, okay? Because the weight was increased, so my face are getting more and more similar to myself. So anyway, this is the way we can combine LoRa's. This is the GTA style, and this is my own face. All right, and here below, if I were to add some link to an image, then I could also like say to the model, okay, I want you to keep the structure of the image and create the new image with the LoRa's based on the structure of this image, okay, the guidelines, if you were. So control nets are a bit more complex and advanced, so this is not the place to discuss control nets, but the place to see one more thing is up here where we can see the requests, and by clicking on the request we can actually see all the previous images we generated. So we don't have like the gallery If you are expecting to see some gallery, we don't have it, but I do see all the previous generations of images that we did. So today is August 18th, 2024, and the first image we created was of Super Mario. If I click on the three dots, I can see what we sent. So we have the prompt. You see, this was portrait photo of Super Mario playing PlayStation wearing VR headsets. Now the second image we generated, which is this one, was in the style of GTA by YUV.AI. So I'm going to take the original prompt. By the way, we can click on the output and we will see something. We can see information, and this link is a link to the image we created. Okay, so fear not from the structure of this text. You will get used to it. This is not scary whatsoever. So just back to the playground. I'm going to paste in the prompt we started with, which is portrait photo of Super Mario playing PlayStation wearing VR headset in the style of GTA by YUV.AI. Okay, now in the additional settings, just making sure we don't need my LoRA, so I can remove it. My LoRA, I meant the face of myself, but I do want the style of GTA. So let's go for 1.5 with the original prompt. Error validating the input. There were some issues with the input values. Fix them. Okay, what is the error? Let's take a look at the logs. We don't have any logs. Okay, maybe it's just some bug. Let's remove the comma and just send the request again. And again, we're getting errors. Maybe it's because of the training. Let's just refresh for a second. We could have some bugs, which is annoying. I know. So let me go back to the model we trained. And once again, this is the latest one. So I'm going to click on Run Inference. And just for, let's say, some baseline, I will click on Run, just making sure this works. This is the sanity check I'm doing. And after seeing this works, then I would paste in the prompt of Super Mario. Okay, so I just got some image, which doesn't make any sense, right? And I have the prompt and I will increase the size of the weight. Okay, the weight of the style. Now let's click on Run once again. And you see, by going back to inference, now we can generate the image again. So I know it's always cool to see people clicking on stuff and it works, but don't fall for it. And now also I didn't select the image size, but we do see like the style, right? This is very, very cool. Now let's increase the size to 1.8. We should be gentle when we increase the sizes. And in the image size, I will select the square HD, and let's do something maybe last one. We do see the money, by the way. All right, we can see how much left we got in the balance. So let's see how Super Mario is going. Okay, cool. This gets closer and closer to GTA style, right? And so now let's change the image to landscape 16:9, and we will say not Super Mario, but a portrait photo of, and now we will go back to the model gallery, home. I want to see my own model. So I'm going to take again my face. I will select the copy link of my LoRA, and I will add it under Add Item. I will add the path and increase the size, the weight of the LoRA of my face. And in this image, which will be a landscape one, it will be a portrait photo of me, which is Yuval, playing PlayStation, wearing VR headset in style of GTA, and comma, let's say on the VR headset, The text fly high with YUV.AI is showing. Okay, this is some complex prompt, but let's see how it goes. We do have the GTA style and we do have my face, and we have the logs here beneath. We can see the progress, which is nice to see. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is definitely the structure of my face. Let's increase the size. So the text is all gibberish. We can see something like, looks like YUV.AI. Nice. So we have like something called guidance. Guidance is like how much weight should I give the prompt itself. So I'm wondering if we were to increase the weight of our prompt. You see, it scales, it ranges from 0 to 20. It was, the default is 3.5. Let's increase it to 12.5. Okay, just playing with the parameters and the values. This is also always nice. So again, we can see it works really nice. 28 steps. 3, 2, 1. Let's see. Okay, now I got a dog. All right. But we do see the text, I think, is much more clear. Fly high. AI. Okay, it gets clearer and clearer, but obviously the weight of the LoRa's was decreased drastically. So now I think what we have got left is like to just lower the guidance scale, the weight of the prompt itself to, let's say, 5 or 4.5. And the scale of my face could be lowered to 1.5. At the GTA style, I will increase it to 2. Okay, this will be our, I don't know, last test, because I think we got it. This is the part of when we generate the images. Wow, this video is becoming longer and longer, but this is the complete tutorial, so I don't mind. All right, let's see. 3, 2, 1. All right, this is me. The text is a bit gibberishy. Yeah, it's a complete gibberish. Okay, but we do see the style of GTA. So one last thing would be portrait photo of Yuval, of myself. Let's just say in the style of GTA by YUV.AI, and let's say comma. Behind him there is a sign with a text, train LoRA on Flux using fal.ai. All right, this will be the last generate. And we have the style of GTA, and we have my face in it. So let's see, and we will summarize everything we had in this session. Okay. Okay, so this is me as a GTA character using fal. This is cool. By the way, if we want, we can retrain the model on a bigger number of steps. Like instead of 1,000, let's go for 2,000, 3,000, but it costs money because each 1,000 steps costs about $4. So we don't want to spend too much money. So we do need to take into account the pricing part. And you can see that each generation, each time I generate an image, the balance is getting lower and lower. And it's a bit expensive, by the way, for generating images online. But if you want to generate it locally in your machine, then you should have a strong computer. So I think we understood all the process. I really liked this image, by the way, of Wolverine, the first one. Yeah, I really like this one. So if I want, by the way, just so you can see, I can take the path, copy it, and here below under the control nets, I could select, click on add item, and in path, just give the image. So, sorry, the path is the path to the weights of the control net. Control net is something very unique. Okay, it's also a model by itself. So I cannot show you how this works at the moment, but I did wanted to show you that I can just paste in the URL of the image. You see, we will have the preview. But if I were to have the path of the control net's weights, I could paste it in here and then rerun the image. So anyway, this was the part of creating a custom model based on our images. So just to summarize everything up, first step was to prepare the dataset for training. I showed you the folder. We talked about the images and the description, the corresponding files. I showed you that we can delete the files if we are using fal, because actually when we train model on fal, it will automatically generate the captions for the image itself. So this was the first part. And the second part was to get into fal.ai and to train our own LoRA, which was very, very easy. And just to recall, by going to Flux LoRA General Training, which is train Flux LoRA on Google, if you recall, or in your favorite search engine, all we had to do is to upload our images. And here below, once we had the images, we gave it a trigger word and just sticked with the default values and ran the training. Simple as that. Once the training has finished, we could click on run inference and copy or download our own model, and then going back to the other interface where we can actually generate the images, which is this part. We also discussed about the trigger word, with, without, the image size, which is important to stick on the image size. This is not crucial, but you can get better results if you are sticking to the dimensions of the image which the model has been trained on. Because keep in mind that if the model knows 1024 by 1024, then when we ask something bigger, it should generate something else than what it was trained on the model itself. So when you are using LoRA on a portrait or custom images, then you should just keep in mind. We talked about the combination of two LoRAs, a bit about control net, about the guidance scale, and I think this wraps it up very nicely. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please do feel free to follow my content on social media, especially on LinkedIn, where my content is also in English, and I will try to upload more and more content in English from now on, because I got many requests from people all over the world. And you know what, maybe the last thing would be to copy this image, going to Runway. I want to show you something really cool, and let's see if I could paste it. So I can't paste it, so I would just save image as whatever, and then I will go to Runway, which is a great website to create a video from this image. I would select Gen-3 Alpha Turbo, which is the fastest and latest one. I would have to crop it because currently Gen-3 does not allow to work on a vertical mode, and I could just give a description. I don't have to. Man walking in the streets of New York City, wind blowing in his hair. All right, so once I click generate, you can see that the turbo model, which is this one, works really fast. And really fast means really fast. Okay, this is blazing fast, especially comparing to the regular Gen-3 Alpha. Now, if you're not familiar with this website, which is Runway ML, Runway is a great company that has many features. So I truly suggest you and encourage you to test their website. It's not a cheap subscription for using this specific capability, so just keep this in mind. So let's see the result of our own generation. Look, how cool is this? He walks down the streets, but he walks backwards. I can say man walking forwards, right, towards the camera. So I think this wraps it up very nice. We trained a model, we created images, we saw all the settings, and eventually we even made a video from our own image. So this was a really nice session. We'll see you in the next time.